Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be explaining and summarizing a very famous story written by Ruskin Bond. The name of the story is The Last Truck Ride. Now, before we get to the story, let's read a few lines about the author himself, Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond was born in 1934 in Kasauli. He is an Indian author of British descent. Most of his works are influenced by the social life in the hill stations. He wrote his first novel, The Room on the Roof, when he was 17. He has written over 300 short stories, essays, and novels. So let's get to the story now. The story starts in a stony mountain range which is devoid of any life. There are hardly any trees there. A truck is pacing down the hills. There are two people in it. The driver is Preetham Singh and his cleaner is Nathu. So children, usually there are two people inside a truck. One is a driver and the other one who helps to keep the truck clean. So the cleaner's name is Nathu and the driver is Preetham Singh. Preetham Singh likes to drive and loves the sound of his horn, so he constantly keeps blaring the horns of his truck. They start having a lively conversation. Preetham Singh asks Nathu if the area around his home looks similar. Nathu responds that the places around his home are nothing like that. They are full of greenery and there is a river as well. The place through which they are driving is very dirty. Actually, there are lots of stones everywhere. There are very few trees in between. So the place is actually very dirty. Preetham Singh predicts a rain. Soon they reach a place where quarrying was in progress. Digging out of the stones from the ground was in progress. There were blasts everywhere, and it gave rise to a very irritating limestone dust everywhere. Since it became very difficult to drive, the truckers decided to stop for a while because if the visibility is not clear, they might end up having an accident. Everything was quiet for a while. Then, all of a sudden, there were blasts which led to the rocks hurtling down the hill. Nathu was frightened to see the trees being flung aside and destroyed. Nathu began to wonder whether his own trees at home would suffer a similar fate. Preetham Singh alerted the laborers who were working nearby of his presence by blaring the horns of his truck. The laborers were working hard to convert the broken rocks into manageable chunks so that it could be loaded onto the trucks. After an hour, when the laborers were done, Preetham Singh decided to move forward. He began to drive fast, and this worried Nathu. The truck was crossing many sharp and dangerous bends. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, a mule appeared on the road. Preetham Singh tried to avoid hitting it, but instead of turning left, he turned right, and the truck went straight over the edge of the road. Luckily, Nathu was thrown out of the open door and he landed on nettles. The truck hurtled forward, but luckily it got stuck to an old oak tree and therefore it was saved from getting plunged into the deep valley. Nathu was hurt and his body was hurting with the pain of the nettle stings, but still he tried to look out for his driver friend Pritam Singh. He found that Pritam Singh was badly injured but alive. He was stuck in the seat of his truck. Later on, he was taken out and sent to the hospital for treatment. Although he had suffered multiple injuries, he was lucky and happy to be alive. When Nathu paid him a visit at the hospital, he told Pritam Singh that he would give up being a cleaner and would return to his home. Pritam Singh also acknowledged the importance of trees, as he knew that if it wasn't for an old oak tree, he would have been dead. So both of them see a lesson and the importance of having the greenery in the environment. So children, this story also lays down an emphasis on the importance of having trees and greenery and preserving our environment. So this is the end of this story. I thank you for listening to this, and I hope you will like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content. Thank you. Have a great day.